Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. I'd like to ask permission from the Sangha and from you all to offer a few reflections, and this is coming towards the end of this time of recollecting Lumpur Cha and this gathering, and a lot has been said, and in some ways I'll be repeating what others have said. And there's not close enough? I'll be repeating what others have said and repeating myself. But when you think about repetition, it's something that is part of our life. If we didn't repeatedly breathe, we'd be in trouble. And people can cook the same sort of dish, but the same recipe, but cook in a slightly different way. And people can say the same things, and it can be slightly different. So, in terms of gratitude, I'd like to express my gratitude to you all, to the Lord Buddha, to Lumpur Cha, and to Ajahn Dhamma. I'm actually taking his place, so he should be giving the talk now. But he's been been one of the causes that this has happened, and to express my appreciation to him at this time, I think is something I'd like to do. So, although he's not here, thank you. I met Lumpur Cha in 77 and joined the community in 78 and helped when he visited that second time, particularly with the driving and some of the logistics. So the picture that you see, the big black and white pictures, I drove him to the place where those pictures were taken. So those are the. It's coming to the end of the batteries. I hope your batteries are okay.
New battery.
No, that's a new battery?
Yeah.
Ayo. Susala. Apa macam lah. Okay. So, obviously in the early days, I didn't know very much about what Ajahn Chah was saying, but I had come across meditation. But what brought me to feel I wished to help was seeing how the bhikkhus acted around and how they behaved around Ajahn Chah in the Hampstead Vihara in 77, 78, and how they acted around and acted together. I recognized that this was not the way that usually people behave. I thought that bhikkhus were important because they don't live by the same rules that society, or the same values that society lives by. They don't live by seeking money or power through family or political power or sex, so they give up those and they live in a different way, and they provide, but they're not separated from society, they're part of society. So I thought that they were important. And really, I didn't know what was going on at the time, but I went to join and helped. But I think for Luang Por Chah, understanding, looking back and understanding a little bit more, or reinterpreting or thinking again, what he offered was the way that people act in society. He gave an opportunity for a model of way that people can act in society. The life in the Wat Pah Pong was doing things together, working together, morning and evening chanting together, hauling water together. If there's a couple of programs, if you see the Mindful Way, at the end of the Mindful Way, there's a shot of a layperson carrying water, and she's using one stick and got a bucket on each end of the stick. So it's independent. She can carry the water independently. There's another program that's shot around the same time, which is more difficult to find. It's called Blue Eyes and Saffron Robes. It was shot by a Irish company, television company. And it shows, if you look at the two videos together, you see in the video shot by the Irish company, monks at Wat Pah Nanachat carrying water. And at Wat Pah Nanachat, if you carried water, you have to have two monks carrying the water. You have to carry water together with somebody. You can't do it on your own. Monks in the Wat Pah Pong and Wat Pah Nanachat tradition, when they go on Bindabat, they use their sangatis. And they use their sangatis and they wear all three robes. When you come back, you can't fold your sangati on your own. You have to interact with somebody. You're always having to work with somebody. However you feel about that person, whether you like them or dislike them, or whether you've had an argument with them earlier in the morning or the other day, you still have to work with them. And this working together was something that, it wasn't explicit, but it was certainly something part of the thing. And then, the final thing that we've not, I don't know if the other monks have really talked about it, but for the last 10 years of Luang Por Chah's life, he didn't say a word. And he was looked after by 5 people 24 hours a day. Those 5 people and the group of people that supported the 5 people had to work out how to work together all the time, for 10 years. It's not just, it's amazing what you've come together to do today over the weekend. You know how much work has gone into it, and you've all worked together. But you're not going to do this for it's 10 years of working together, living, not being able to do what you want to do, but surrendering to look after a teacher, your teacher. And that was I think, amazing. And I think that something that has helped us all recognize that we can support each other. This group of bhikkhus is, I think, much more supportive than any other group. That was never, explicitly stated. And the example that shows is that it's possible for very diverse people to support this. And what is this? This is the representation of the Sangha, which is the representation of virtuous behavior in society. And if you want to know how your spiritual practice is going, what progress you've made, people like to know how much they've grown spiritually. It's how you are in society, how you are with your family, how you are with your friends, how you are with people you meet on the street, how you are with the people you deal with, is in those situations are wholesome qualities increasing and unwholesome qualities decreasing in general. It doesn't make you a mood, but if when you're with people, is there less greed, less anxiousness, less impatience in yourself and with them, in them? Do they find it easier to be more at ease themselves, to be more generous and patient and virtuous themselves? That's the test of how much your spiritual insight has actually worked. It's how you are with people. It's not just, oh, I've got this great insight. It's the interaction that is important. That's the feeling that I felt from reflecting on Ajahn Chah's life. Of course, there were, the actual teaching he gave me was short, and he maybe had given it to other people as well. Of course, at the Upasampada, you have the walking meditation and reflecting on the 5 bits of the body that we see, the hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, and skin, and discarding them, and then discarding the bits of the body at each end of the walking meditation path. That's a sort of standard teaching that he would give at or probably almost any ordination. The one thing that he did teach me in particular was at that time when that black and white picture was being taken, I tried to look after his bowl because I was very keen. And he saw me looking after his bowl, and he couldn't speak English, I couldn't speak Thai, but he called over the translator, Ajahn Papakaro, and he got down and explained how a bowl should be looked after and dried, showed me all the steps. And then at the end of it, he said, and Ajahn Sumedho was sitting there, just watching. He said, I'll teach you how to look after a bowl. Sumedho will teach you how to go to Nibbana. And there are 2 or 3 things happening there that I didn't realize at the time, but maybe thinking about it or maybe overthinking about it. He was showing me how to look after a bowl. Well, that's important because without a bowl, a bhikkhu's pretty pretty hopeless, really. It's a tool of his trade, he needs that. And then he was showing me the importance of that. He was showing Lumpur Sumedho that it was an important thing to teach somebody. But he was also giving me confidence that Lumpur Sumedho would be able to teach me. So in a couple of phrases, he was actually doing quite a lot. And I think that that skill was part of it. That picture that was taken, you sometimes see the picture of him holding a flower, yeah, that was taken at the same time as that grey picture of Ajahn Chah. He was holding a flower. And somebody had, at that time, had come to talk to him about the problems that they had with anger. I get a lot of anger. I'm very angry. And the reply that he gave then, that was translated, I'm not sure what he said, but he said, "Put a clock in front of you." He said, "Look at the clock." And said, "Look at the clock. See if you can be angry for all of the next 2 hours." and you know, it's like, and he was actually pointing at a flower and saying, "Well, look how it changes, look how it decays." Very sort of simple things, and that's why he was holding the flower. So those simple teachings, but behind all of that, it was how people behaved around him, which was important. You know, people, when you were around Ajahn Chah, as Ajahn Jayasara said, you wanted to be on your best behavior. So you wanted to behave very well around him and behave properly. And in establishing a community and establishing the Sangha, I think what the Buddha, I don't pretend to read the mind of the Buddha, but what the Buddha set up was a structure that leads people to suffer less. And that's I think the definition of compassion, acting with wisdom, is setting up a structure whereby people can suffer less, seeing that there is suffering, and then setting up a structure whereby people can suffer less. There'll be less trouble in their life. So, and for the bhikkhus, you've got the whole of the Vinaya, which is a structure of behavior. For also, he's got the structure of thought and the way of thinking, of the Dhamma, which is a structure, a way of thinking that actually allows people to suffer less. And I think in establishing monasteries and places where people can come, I feel that they're like generators. Generators, I say generators of alternative energy, because what they generate is generosity. Now, the monks don't get paid; they have to work for nothing. And then the people come and they offer. The monks work and teach as generously as they can. They give what they can, and the lay people are generous in return. So generosity is generated. But then also, as well, if the monks are behaving themselves well, that is generating virtue. Because the monks are given the opportunity to be more virtuous in their behavior, have a sense of self-respect, and in that way encouraging other people also to feel that they can trust and not be frightened. And so that is generating virtue. And then the third thing that I hope that we generate is wisdom. Actually reflecting what is important in life, what actually will give you a sense of liberation from endless, aimless wandering. what will truly benefit, and why are you born? What happens when you die? Is your life going to be a blessing or is it going to be a curse? Is your life going to be something that encourages you to do something good and beautiful that you didn't think you could do? Because that's to bless your life. Yes, it's accursed if you stop yourself from doing something that's good and beautiful. And to figure out how your life can be a blessing to yourself, so that you don't feel at the end of it that you've wasted your time, that this tremendously precious opportunity of being able to generate causes and conditions that lead to the end of suffering has not been wasted. I certainly think that Lumpur Cha generated causes and conditions whereby people can suffer less and generated many blessings which continue today. And he would always point to the Lord Buddha and say that the reason that he was able to do it was because of the Lord Buddha. And that's 2,561 years of blessings, because all the Buddha was interested in was allowing you to find ways to suffer less. So, figure out ways so that you generate less suffering and less pain and stress for yourself and others. I hope that helps. I feel very privileged to be able to have this space and this occasion to share with you, and the gratitude that I feel, which I think supports us all, a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the opportunity of being alive, of being here, being supported throughout this life. So I offer that for your consideration, and I hope that it's of some benefit. Evan.